And you know what? Now that I think about it, there was a blood moon during this thing, but I'm trying to remember whether it was before or was it after. You know, actually, that's a good thing. For the first time, a blood moon is good. Okay, so let's pretend. Come along with me, boys and girls, and this is the gaming godmother. And last time I left you, technically, I was here. And I hope there was a blood moon. As I recall, there was one, and maybe I'll be able to recreate some of this for you. Nonetheless, and have a nice shrine that I can port to do the other part. How's that? Let's pick up a couple of silent princesses here while we're at it, and of course we will come back and explore these things at some point. We now have the Master's Sword. As you can see, the pedestal is empty, and you know, you can go back and look at the last video and you can see all that lovely stuff that we did here. Part of me is so glad we're out of this place because it was like on and on and on and on. Okay, so what did I do next? I looked at my map and I went out here and I said, well, should I go here? And then what I did is I did port there, and then I tried to go out in this direction, and guess what? The Lost Woods just put me right back with the Koroks that sent me on the, you know, on the quest, you know, the test, you know, that's in that area. So I wound up back here, and I thought, oh, geez, no, let's go back over here, and where shall we go? So I decided to go to, I decided to go back here to the shrine that's closest to the Forgotten Temple, right? And I wanted to revisit that because this wall right here that you see, when I entered it from here. Like I jumped off the cliffs here, and it was in the late afternoon or early morning, I can't remember, where the sun was low in the sky and was creating sort of the kind of angled light that made this area look flat. And as you will see in a little bit, we're going to port over here. And this is where I left the those scientists that are still looking for the Leviathan bones. I found one of them. The big ones, the big bones that were in Gerudo. And that's a, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I think it was the last playlist, or 2 playlists from this one, because this is number 1 of a new playlist. Anyway, so I came out here and I said, okay, let's go look at the Forgotten Temple. And of course now we're going to enter in the middle of the night. It's 1:40 a.m. Anything to pick on the way? Got things to pick. Yeah, we got people running back and forth here, huh? I think I know who that guy is. I think that's the guy I ran into when I climbed out of this, when I was running across the top of the temple at some previous time. I came in here and I missed the entrance and I thought, okay, there's nothing here. Here. No, please. Great. Well, if I'm going to lose a weapon, this is the time to do it, right? I guess we're done. Except for these guys. There. Ooh. Oh, good. I've got all my shields. Thank you. And my inventory is slightly changed, and that's the sacrifice I'm going to have to make here for losing that that footage. I do have the audio of it, but that's of no use to you. And oh, look. Now I wonder if I can. I tried it once. No, don't do it. I think he's too far gone. Yeah, he's too far gone. Okay, this dragon keeps, you know, coming around and doing stuff. Are there any weapons here? No, I don't want that. Okay. So the sun looks like it's coming up. And as you go down here, can you see that? See how that... Okay, see from up here you can actually see an entrance. When I came floating down here, there was a lot of mist. And I believe the sun was on the other side. So the sun must have been setting in the west, not rising in the east. And that opening there didn't look anything like that. Or maybe it does. See how it kind of fades out? And it gets dimmer and dimmer and it looks flatter. There, see that? Okay, there. That looked flat to me because of the angle of the sun kind of blocked it. And then we'll just get out of this guy's way. So when I came down and I came in this area and I started climbing without pointing the camera in that direction. And so that didn't look like an entrance to me. It looked flat, much flatter than it does now. Right now you can actually see something. But, yes. And then one of the other things I did, I came over here, which I thought was much more interesting at some level, at least to me, was that you come down here and look at this wall. The last time I was here, and I came and I walked on the outside of this thing, see these patterns on the wall now? It's almost like a Rorschach test. I see stuff. That looks like Vati. And then if you look, and then you can kind of see like a head with a crown on it. But then even more strange, look up. And it looks like a lion's head up there. Or a cat's head. But it looks like a lion's head to me. And I was thinking the Lionel. And then on either side of this thing, it looks like cherubs are sitting on a spear or something, and there are cherubs with wings. If you stare at this long enough, you start to see stuff. I mean, it really is like a Rorschach test. But that thing in the middle, and it's repeated in other parts of this temple. So anyway, study that one if you ever play the game and come down here and see what you think, because it looks like a Lionel to me. It's a gigantic Lionel. Okay, come on, Link, let's go. What's going on? Is it raining out here? Why are you slipping? And let's put on your climbing gear here. It looks like it's raining. Or is it just his sweat that's dripping everywhere? Let's drop down. Thank you.
Mifa's grace is ready.
Thank you, Mifa. So I came down the front of this thing, I think. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. And they're gone. Oh, okay. This place was crawling with guardians. There's some dead ones down there. I could have sworn a blood moon happened. Maybe it happened afterwards, but yes. And I presume if a blood moon starts out now, I'm going to have to do it. But anyway, I've got to give you the grand tour. There were 1, 2, 3, one on this bridge, 2 on the sides of guardians, and I either blocked them or I had a few of my ancient arrows. Are all gone now because I used it on these. And then here there were like in the next chamber there were 4, and you can come down here and then check out this chamber. There are 3 of them, and then again there were 4 live guardians here. And if you make it through here, which I did clearly because it's cleared out, you make it into this inner temple, and there's the goddess there, a larger, not quite as large as the ones in Skyward Sword or anywhere else, certainly not in the Temple of Time here. And you get a blessing. I forget what they give you. I think they give you a flame sword. What do I have in my inventory? They give you the Great Flame Blade, or is it this one? One of these two. And there was a chest in here. I can't remember which chamber it was in, but there is one chest. And so if you want to come in here, there's one on the left side here. Oh, I think it was around a corner here. None of these, and none of these guardians, the dead ones, gave up any parts. Of course, the ones that I did destroy did give up parts. I mean parts, not hearts. And then if you look, and see down there, if you look down, see that little cubby hole down there, that little notch at the bottom of that wall? That's a little tunnel that leads you to a chest, and you will get goodies there. And there's 2 of those little cubby holes next to the vents, so make sure you check out all of that. And as far as the gameplay was concerned, it was good. I mean, you had multiple guardians targeting you, but I tried to sort of sneak around the situation by, you know, getting one of them at a time, either by shooting them in the eyes or by, you know, deflecting them with my shield. And I managed to do that. And again, if you look down somewhere, you're going to see a cubby hole. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Down at the bottom. It's one of these. You got 2 of them. I think one gives you 300 rupees and the other one gives you an ancient core. Whoops. What did I just do? Sorry, Link. Link's mad at me. I've been abusing him lately. And then okay, so that's that. Sorry guys, you know, after 10 months of doing video recording in a very forward way without any backtracking or anything, something technical was bound to happen, and I think that's, you know, that's the extent of it for me here. But at least I did come back to the Forgotten Temple, and yes, I did come in here and made sure that I got this one done, and I'm glad I did. The not fun part was getting out of here. I had to climb the temple yet again and go all the way to the top, and, you know, basically I did the same route, you know, going over the top of this thing, and that is the shrine that's in here, and then, you know, climbing up through here, and then eventually coming, oh, I don't know, somewhere in here. I think, well, there's Mount Drenna, but that's not where I wound up. I wound up over here somewhere. I wound up in a lower place, but it was in this area. It's right along here. And yeah, so this is where I wound up traversing, climbing this mountain here again, with the intention of going into this, but not before I went here. On the way up here, there were some other guardians, a couple of guardians. I took them out with a deflection of my shield, and then, you know, another passing of the dragon, which I didn't. It was always still too far, and I tried to use Rivali's Gale, but it really doesn't get you high enough. You really do have to get those dragons in the canyons, and it seems like the path of Dinrail is literally right through here. This canyon is his, like, you know, his path on the way up to Gerudo Heights. So, and there you have it. Now let's go back here and let's travel. Let's see if we can stitch this back together and get back on the road to Death Mountain.